It's amazing, isn't it? To stand at the site of such history. The fall of Terrace has always cast a shadow over the Republic. So many millions of our people are descended from the refugees who fled its destruction, and we've carried its effects for far too long.
Are you talking about something specific?
I'm sorry, I'm Dr. Synoda. I have made it my life's work to cure Kolu syndrome, a rare cancer that affects only the descendants of Teresian refugees. But I have reached the limits of what I can do without the original settlers' medical records. I came here to access the systems in Terrace's old general hospital, but I, underestimated the dangers.
I get the feeling you're not telling me everything.
What could I possibly gain? Please, if you can help me, millions of people would be in your debt. Please go to the old hospital. I have the plans here. There are emergency generators that may still work. If you bring them up, we can download the old records. Bring them back, and you could save millions of people from a life of pain and early death.
Hey there, Captain Childress. I want to thank you for taking the time to see me. You did nice work on that land claim mess. Like we flew this many troops to the armpit of the galaxy so some kids could play pioneer. It'll take way more than it's worth to make this planet livable. Only thing interesting about Terrace is that it's the worst failure the Republic's ever had.
The destruction of Terrace was a terrible loss.
And we almost let it happen again on Coruscant. 300 years after Terrace, we still don't know squat about how to defend against a bombardment once ships are in low orbit.
Makes you feel like the Empire could squash you like a bug.
Most people don't realize how vulnerable we are. And if my mission here succeeds, they'll never have to. I sent commandos to defend a research team at the crash site of the Endar Spire, the last Republic warship shot down over this planet. If we're lucky, that ship recorded the whole bombardment. But my team's lost contact, which means there are desk jockeys in the wild with the most valuable data on Terrace.
What's this ship? Why is it so valuable?
There were Jedi aboard back in the day. Now, we hope it's got data on the attackers. The crash site's a ways out, fast as you can make it. I don't know if we've got survivors. Research team's your number 2 priority. Data's the most important thing. Take anything the Endar Spire recorded to Commander Viki at the outpost.
As you can see by the data, there is no disease in known space that propagates as quickly as the Teresian Rakul plague. Even one individual Rakul can start a pandemic, as we have observed in 81 colonies to date. Until a vaccine can be widely distributed, it is highly doubtful that any civilian colonization effort will yield lasting results. Thank you.
I didn't know Rakuls had gotten so many colonies.
Rakuls have been the story on Taris for 3 centuries. HoloNet archives say a Dr. Thorne developed a Rakul serum vaccine just hours before the bombardment. I've been trying to acquire the serum, but short of putting a blaster to someone's head, that's not going to happen.
How do you figure that?
There's a pirate camp not far from here. They went after the ruins of Sepanik Memorial Hospital. Sepanik was well preserved. If there's Rakul serum to be found, it'd be there. I asked Commander Viki to step in, but since it wasn't a Republic hospital, the pirates have legal salvage rights.
Why are you bugging me with this?
Wait. If I go see the pirates, they're gonna see scared human girl with money. You, on the other hand, what would you think about getting some samples out of them?
You got it.
Thanks. To have a working vaccine, no price is too high.
Bimkanaya nugan. Jinim naya lak umnan mege. Nule lak apa jam kamgram. Amka nem nang nemua inuk.
I sincerely have absolutely no idea what you're talking about. Honest.
Nakag agip kik benabab. Neya agam berakaki. Bomo gala apayang. Nilama imi amka anggap? Kala jiwa nimok. Bemgam niyama naya agam.
That sounds like just what I need.
Nibaga glamka. Gakyam. Glagnimu amya galak. Naya naramkam. Kala ama mani mami. Libik bak.
I'm a little rushed right now. Maybe later?
Manub meraka naja. Kinamabam. Yak manala. Memgam gamgi. Nina gegwan. Amnerna hanak. Kamperem ganyam bajiyang. Mani kikum bukam.
This is for you, This is for you, Gartha. I saw you ahead of me there, before the pack cut us off. Just want to tell you, you're wrong. The dead do care what happens to them after they die. I'm one of them now. I hear those monsters sniffing for me in the dark, and I know I'll be with the dead before anyone comes for us. And I do care. But I'd rather lie here 1,000 years undiscovered than have some greedy son of a hut like you dig me up just to see what I've got that's worth stealing. I hope someone else finds this and makes you pay for your crimes, like I'm about to pay for mine.
Tigers. I'm out. Yeah, I don't have to fight them. Let's see, up here. Just need to do that. And I'm done with that part.
You're back. And I don't see anyone with you. Did you... Are they?
Dead? What did you think? The rat ghouls would buy them flowers and send them home?
Actually, one of them left you a message, Gartha.
A message? Oh, that must be Elizu. They were very close. I'll call the base and tell them what happened.
I'm putting in for a transfer. No job is worth this.
I hear you found a way to make it worth your while.
What did you find? Was Elizu alive? What did that lying coward say about me?
He said you've been stealing from the dead.
So dramatic. It's nothing big. The corpses are still filed. The data is preserved. It was just stuff. Jewelry mostly. No one was going to miss it. You're talking about people who died generations ago.
We'll see if you think prisoners have as few rights as the dead.
Very funny.
The commander's sending a team to retrieve the bodies. Thank you for doing what you could.
One of your dead teammates has evidence of a crime.
Oh, please. This is so humiliating. Yes, Elizu and I were stealing some trinkets for the black market. The blasted dead don't cry over it. Why should you?
How could you? You told me those boxes were going to the Republic archive.
Yeah, so I lied. What, you going to turn me in for that too?
We'll work this out later. We've asked enough of your time. Although, if you have a moment...
You sound like there's something more on your mind.
Okay, this'll sound crazy, but there's more rat ghouls at our grave sites than any of the Republic target zones.
Ah, they're just drawn to the noise and the smell of flesh.
We're not any noisier or fleshier than a platoon of soldiers. I think they're protecting their ancestors.
Ancestors?
See, rat ghouls descend from sentience. It's a disease, one we know little about. But if my theory is correct, it'll be our first insight into how they think. This could be a first step toward taking the planet back from them.
Still seems like a long shot, unless you can sit them down and ask.
I think there's a way. Now that you're here anyway.
What? You're not sending them to the bombardment site, are you? That place is so thick with rat ghouls you can see them from orbit.
Don't you interfere. We know what you think of the people of Terrace. I am right about this. Why else would they be so determined to guard the bombardment sites? If you could get samples from both the rat ghouls and the skeletons at one of the main sites, we could see if they're related.
I'll poke around and see what's what.
Seriously, Sierra, you think you can waste his valuable time on your crackpot theories?
You don't tell me what to do anymore. We know how you feel about the people of Terrace. Please don't let Gartha discourage you. This is important. And I don't think there's anyone else on this planet willing to brave those rat ghouls to find out. I'll be waiting to hear what you find.
These are all the medical records I could find.
Thank you. I am sure you have braved many higher-profile dangers, but you will never do anything more important. You have saved countless lives. One of them may well be mine. My ancestors fled Terrace 300 years ago, and my family still carries their curse. I thank you.
So much destruction.
Really?
I handled everything just like you wanted.
Nakag agip kik benabab. Neya agam berakaki. Mem amgab kugab kramanik. Kiga mayamak. Bemka naya nugan. Jinim naya lak umnan mege.
Greetings. You are cleared for the following travel routes. Be safe out there. What do you think, Khan?
The foundation of the Terrace Chemworks factory cannot be repaired. I expect total collapse within 2 weeks. Once the building falls, the stored chemicals will flood this area. They are highly toxic to humans. I am sorry.
I'll make sure there are speeders on hand, but we can't just pack up and go. Do what you can.
As always, I will pursue an alternative. Excuse my inattentiveness, Master. You are with the reconstruction effort? I advise you not to stay long.
You were talking about evacuation. What's going on?
Many of these ruins are unstable. A nearby structure used for chemical storage is on the verge of crumbling. As I was explaining to my colleague, there is only one way to remove the chemicals before they spill. A burn-off. A well-armed demolitions team could reach the structure and incinerate the chemical stockpiles. I can provide the incendiaries. Unfortunately, no team is available.
I could lend a hand if you need one.
Your generosity is considerable. You should know, however, between the structural instability, the toxicity levels, and the incendiary chemicals, the mission does carry substantial risk. It is nonetheless urgent. You are not a demolitions team, I fully recognize this. But if you could arrange the burn-off, I would humbly welcome your aid.
Excuse me, friend. The Republic told me you might be able to help with a difficult situation. They say you are a most reliable operative on Terrace. Have you heard anything about titroxinate being sold on the black market?
What's titroxinate?
Titroxinate was the pre-patent name for the weaponized agent we think was responsible for the Rakghoul plague. The Empire could fashion it into a terrible weapon, turning our soldiers into monsters and setting them against us.
What's my role in all this?
Trace the original titroxinate samples to an old Chemworks factory. It's overrun with Nexu. We can't get near it. If you can retrieve any canisters that remain, the Republic will see you're well rewarded for your effort.
Kuchusa yomata chitoya, asubi mota uipa, patoga wata kiko uba kiri wata buki donko.
You never take those things off?
Chobad I kafstuan dile jihulo kuta. Buka kampak nijit, tonka yiliska chanaga, kabanotase makipuna, malituta odmishka.
Meryl said you have something for me to take back.
Kuchusa yomata chitoya, asubi mota uipa. Poya toka changa goptula do bata wana wanki. Chaskruni do pat kurira do kanki kung.
The scavengers must have a camp. Know where it is?
Piti do tenya go kakajujo. Da biska ku paliya. Pampawula ji ota kakoga huta nupisto.
I'll burn their little clubhouse to the ground.
Che chopa kuma ni umpi but malia bedwana ni bobo. Tauz azulas uval tung mi chakulka dimaji. Kabanotase makipuna, malituta odmishka.
whatchamacallit on that. Intriguing. Refresh, that's the word I was looking for. They have a fast refresh. That's odd. Whatever. Sorry, I had to sneeze.
Why'd you have to go and kill everybody? Some of those guys were all right.
I'm here for the planetary core samples. Hand them over.
Planetary core samples. Right. You work for Beryl Thorne, don't you? That's what I used to do. The name's Tyrodol. I was helping Beryl smuggle artifacts off Terrace disguised as core samples. I thought we'd get rich. Turns out Beryl's a soft touch. Instead of selling what we smuggle on the Imperial market, Beryl gives relics to descendants of Taris survivors for a tiny finder's fee. Ridiculous.
There's an Imperial market on Taris?
No. But high-ups in Imperial space pay big credits for Taris artifacts. They're status symbols. I let Beryl think rat ghouls killed me and went into business with the scavengers. They had a bright idea to increase profits. Why sell a relic to the Imperials once we can sell it a dozen times? These droids are making copies of the relics.
These droids can forge counterfeits?
They can recreate a relic down to the last detail. The copies are flawless. Let's be smart about this. I'll give you a hefty payout and a cargo pod of counterfeit relics if you keep my operation quiet. You go home richer, Beryl gets some relics to give away, and I stay in business. What do you say?
I think she deserves better than to be cheated by you.
Oh well, I guess we finish this the hard way. Droids, code black!